Welcome everyone, State Board Resource Center here. This, I believe, is video number 290. It's the third video in our short series explaining to you how our private training works. Now, once again, those of you with us, bear with me for a moment. Those of you with us for the first time, let me give you a little background on our company, okay? We have a number of products to help you pass your test. First of all, we have this book. It's not a textbook. It's a book of questions and answers, very state specific for your state. Gives you the question, the 4 possible answer choices as they appear on your test, gives you the correct answer, and then it gives you the page number. And I so highly recommend looking in the textbook at the page number and reading more about it. I'm going to give you a very simple explanation why. Okay? They're going to ask you questions. They can ask you about cleaning, okay? Disinfecting. There's so many ways they can word the same question. If you don't understand it, in the hair color chapter, and barbers are constantly amazed at how many questions on hair color and permanent waving on the test. There's a simple question about the opposite color of yellow. It's violet. Violet will neutralize yellow. Violet will cancel yellow. There's 3 variations of the same question. Do you understand that yellow and violet are opposite colors? If you don't, you can't answer the question. Now, orange and blue, same thing. What is the opposite color of orange? What is the complementary color of orange? What color neutralizes orange? This is a very common test question for both barbers and cosmetologists, and I should say even skincare people, especially when it comes to makeup issues. Okay, complementary colors. It's in the skincare chapter. It's in the hair color chapter. It's in the makeup chapter for cosmetologists. Complementary colors. Now, getting back to skin, it's very simple. Okay, there's 2 basic layers you need to understand. It's far more complicated if you're going to be a doctor and do dermatologist, but for you, there's 2 basic layers. There's the epidermis and the dermis. Now, epi is the Latin prefix meaning top or best or above. So the dermis is skin. Like, think about the word dermatology, a skin doctor, right? A dermatologist. Dermis is skin. Dermis or derma, same thing, singular or plural. Derma, dermis. Epidermis is the top layer of your skin. They're going to ask you also about the glands of your skin. Now, there's dozens of glands in our skin. We need to understand the sweat glands and the oil glands, the sudoriferous glands and the sebaceous glands. And these are the disorders of the sweat glands and the oil glands. And finally, skin cancer. There's 3 kinds of skin cancer. There's basal cell, squamous cell, and malignant melanoma. In my experience of 45 years owning 2 salons and a barbershop and a school and teaching online, I've taught in high school, college, I even taught in prison. That was an interesting experience. I actually had the most cooperative students of my life in prison, okay? Because these guys were serious. There was no more an idle threat what's going to happen to you if you break the law repeatedly. They were in prison. They knew what was going to happen to them because it happened. They wanted to get the hell out of prison, and they didn't want to come back and visit it again. They were the most cooperative students I've ever had. Okay? But I'm telling you, okay, skin cancer, basal cell, squamous cell, malignant melanoma. You will be primarily tested on malignant melanoma, the least common but the most severe. A 100% death rate if you don't deal with it. Have a death wish, get malignant melanoma and ignore it. You'll be dead in 3 to 5 years. Now, in our more detailed classes, I go into this. I have a few stories, real life stories of what's happened to people with malignant melanoma. I don't have time here. To wrap up today's video, we do private training. There's 7 classes. You and the instructor, it's live, so it's not recorded like this. You actually are interacting like you were sitting in the same room. You can ask questions. Each class is 1 hour in length. Okay? We are open 7 days a week, Doesn't matter what days you want to do it. I suggest to people, if you have the time, stretch it over a couple of weeks. Okay? I personally think that if you try to do it 7 days in a row, it's kind of an overwhelming amount of information. But if you want to do it that way, we can. We're here 7 days a week. Give us a call, 760-534-4434, both English and Spanish. Visit us online at www.cosmetologystateboardexam.com. Otherwise, stay tuned for episode number 4.